Hello, I'm Destiny Diamond. Welcome back to my channel. This is my son Elijah. He just turned 5 months old. Today's video is going to be 10 things that I wish I knew before I became a mom. Starting with number 1 is hair loss. I didn't know that you can lose a lot of your hair after you give birth. I actually started shedding a lot and I started losing a lot of my hair. Yeah. Now I don't have any full-on bald spots or anything, but I noticed that my hair is getting really thin. Number 2 is teeth problems. I didn't know that when you become pregnant, it really does take a lot of energy and just all of your body into creating another human being. And it sometimes takes away from your bones as well as your teeth. So I really feel like my teeth have gotten just a little bit yellower, and I was anemic, so I had pica, I believe it's called, and I was chewing on ice. So because I was chewing on a lot of ice, my teeth deteriorated a little bit. Good job. So number 3 is baby clothes. Baby clothes is not true to size. This little guy right here, when he was 6 weeks old, fit in 6 months old baby clothes. He was 10 pounds when he came out. So he was a very big baby. He did not fit in newborn clothes at all, even though he was a newborn. And so I really wish that I would have known that it was not going to be true to size beforehand, because I would have probably asked for larger sizes. I wouldn't ask for newborn diapers at all. I think 1 box is just fine unless you're having twins. On to number 4 is I wish that I knew that I wouldn't have had any time to cook when he was a newborn. I want to say within the first and second month, I didn't cook at all because it's just a huge time consumer and you're really running on 0 sleep. And so if I were to ask for anything during my baby shower, looking back, yeah, baby, I would ask for like Uber Eats gift cards, or just for my family to come over and cook some frozen meals for me to eat at a later time, so that when I become a mom in those newborn phases where he's never sleeping, I would have really appreciated that. So on to number 5. Something that I wish I knew is how crazy hard and challenging it is to actually breastfeed. It's actually really hard to up your supply. I did not make enough, and I really wish that I did. If I could, I wouldn't feed him formula. I would just do breastfeeding. However, I was anemic during my pregnancy. I don't really like to eat meat that much. Yeah, and then I also hemorrhaged after giving birth to him, and so I was anemic after my pregnancy as well, with a low hemoglobin, which means just a high blood loss. And so if you're dealing with something like that, you can't even make fluids for yourself. On top of making fluids for another human being, you are fighting a really uphill battle, and therefore it was harder than I thought it would be. I see all of these TikToks, right, with the oversupply, and then they have refrigerators and freezers full of like packages of their own breast milk for months and months and months. Not only that, but what I didn't know before I got pregnant is that you have to breast pump or breastfeed every 2 to 3 hours. So how are you supposed to sleep if, let's say, every 3 hours you are supposed to be breast pumping? That's like getting less than 2 hours of sleep at a time. Do you know how hard that is? And then on top of that, women go back to work sometimes during the 2nd month. So how is that even possible to get 2 hours of sleep at a time, and then you're running on fumes? I don't know how women do it. The last segment about breastfeeding is that I didn't know that it takes some time to actually go from colostrum to actual breast milk. It could take a week. It could take just a couple of days. It could take 1 day. It could take 3. You actually really don't know when your actual breast milk is going to come in. For me, I was making nothing for the first 3 days, and I had to substitute formula for him. And then all of a sudden, like, I couldn't control how much was coming out, to the point where like I was waking up in puddles of milk, which even if I wore a sports bra with padding and everything, I was waking up in puddles of milk. It's an experience. So my phone just died and it erased half of the video, and so now I have to record it again. Let's go into number 6, okay? So number 6 was, can epidural wear off? I didn't know that this is kind of a debated topic. When you first get an epidural, the medication feels and it is affecting you a little bit more strongly. However, after hours and hours and hours of having the same medication, your body gets used to it. And not only that, but you might have been at 1 centimeter dilated, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way until 10. 10 is obviously going to hurt a lot more than 1 centimeter dilated. It's going to feel more painful, and eventually it doesn't necessarily wear off because it is a constant stream, but it's not going to be as effective as when you first get it. This is something that I wish I knew before I went into my labor and delivery, because it's really all about timing. But I am glad that I got the epidural early at 2 centimeters dilated, because even at the end where I felt a lot of pain, immense pain, it was just a few hours before I had given birth. And so I think I saved myself almost an entire day worth of pain that I could have felt if I were not to get the epidural. On to number 7. Going to the bathroom during your labor and delivery. What do you do when you have to go to the bathroom? It would really, really suck and be unfortunate if you had to go to the bathroom during the time like that you are delivering the baby. Like as the baby's going out, you don't want number 2 to go out. Like I totally understand, but it's more common than you think. Not that I had that issue, but I heard it's more common than you think. So I was fearless. I was ready for that moment and it didn't happen for me. But I just wanted to say that if that happened to you, or if it's going to happen to you, don't worry about it. It's 100% natural for us human beings. So I wouldn't be too worried about it or concerned or embarrassed. Something that I wish that I knew is go to the bathroom before you get the epidural, because you're going to be hooked to a machine. And if you're hooked to the machine, you can't actually go to the bathroom or walk around. They give you a little pot to go to the bathroom in. They fix your bed so that it is upward in this kind of position, and you're like sitting right there and you're holding on to the sides, and you're literally going to the bathroom in the pot on the bed. And that is a really awkward experience. And that's something that I wish that I knew before I gave birth, because I wouldn't want to get the epidural and then have to go to the bathroom and go through that again. Number 8 is be aware of all your pain management options before you go into labor and delivery. The reason why I say that is because I heard a lot of different stories about how these medications affect your body. Epidural and a lot of other pain medications are going to affect you differently than the next person and the next person and the next person. For example, I believe my cousin said that the epidural didn't work for her at all and she felt everything. And one of my friends also said that she not only did the epidural work for her, but she couldn't feel anything. She couldn't even move her legs. She didn't even know how to push and needed help pushing because she literally couldn't feel anything from the waist down. And then another person said she felt the left side but did not feel the right side. And that could also happen because your spine has a left side and it has a right side. So depending on how the epidural goes in, you can feel everything, you can feel nothing, you can feel the left side, the right side, you could possibly feel like a gray area where you feel something but it's not totally numb, and that's what happened to me. I don't think that I had the most painful experience because I had the epidural, but the epidural had been in for hours, so I felt the baby coming out, I felt myself rip. Because these pain medications don't work for everybody, you should always have like a plan A and a plan B. So my number 8 is pitocin and cervical softener. Something that I wish I knew about these two medications is that it makes your labor so much more painful because it's supposed to fasten everything. You should not get pitocin or cervical softener or just get induced in general if it's not medically necessary. And medically necessary meaning it's a detriment to your health or the baby's health. You can actually refuse them, and you have every right to refuse them, even if the doctor really wants you to take it, even if the nurses are pushing it on you. If you really think about it, there's a lot of hospitals that are very understaffed, and they're really trying to get you in and out. So sometimes they give women pitocin and cervical softeners to fasten their labor delivery so the next person or the next mother can come in and deliver and use that delivery room. And sometimes it is about making ends meet, like money for the hospital. So I would just be very cautious when they bring up pitocin or cervical softener within your labor and delivery if it's not medically necessary, and really question why they are offering it to you. Last but not least, number 10. Number 10 is to pick and choose wisely who you have a child with. Wisely choosing the person that you have a child with is obviously something that I knew before. Until I lived in it, I didn't really know how significant and important it is to choose the right person. Your mind changes, your body changes, your perception of your life changes, your relationship changes. It's really important that you have someone that is going to be there for you through all of that and express patience and understanding and cater to you and respect you and support you. Some things that I noted down here is that he held my hand for 2 days of pain, held my leg up through 2 hours of delivery, seen a baby come out of my special area, and he also wiped my butt when the nurse wouldn't. I'm gonna take my braid down. And even after childbirth, when I was living in motherhood and getting 0 hours of sleep a day and going back to work and having all of these anxiety, emotions, I just feel like I changed so much as a person. It's so insane for someone like me to think about this deeply, because I always thought, my hair looks so funny. I always thought that I was a very independent person, and I truly believe that I still am. However, I do rely on my partner a lot more than I thought that I would. I'm the type of mom who is very picky and choosy about who I allow my child to be around and who I don't allow my child to be around. I also think that safety comes first. I structure out his days. I make it so that he's getting enough sleep and he's eating at a certain time every single day, and we're doing developmental and educational activities every single day, and we're working on giving him a great start in his life and only surrounding him with people that he absolutely loves and that absolutely love him. And I think that if I were to co-parent with someone who didn't meet my level of expectation and quality of care, it would be extremely frustrating.
Children learn firsthand through their environment and will pick up the habits you as parents model. Therefore, I choose to be that much more dedicated to fostering a healthy and functional relationship with my partner so that my child grows up in a loving and nurturing environment.
To end off this video on a positive note, I wanted to say, instead of what I wish I knew before I had a child or delivered, what I know now that I'm a full-fledged mom. As independent as I want to be sometimes, it's okay to ask for help, because it's true when they say it takes a village to take care and raise a child. So that completes this video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched to the end. Please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye, guys.